Stampin' friends, it's Ayana Johnston here with another Check This Out Stampin' Up video tutorial to show you. Today I want to show you how I made this beautiful sparkly poinsettia Christmas card. You can get the supply list for this card on my blog at www.checkthisout.stampinup.net. Be sure to stop by and see more of my great ideas and some great customer offer specials. Okay, so let's get started making this card. To make this card, you're going to need two stamp sets. You're going to need the Reason for the Season stamp set, and we're going to be using this flower down here as well as these leaf petals over here. And then you'll also need the Hostess 6 Saying stamp set. We'll be using the Merry Christmas to You and Yours and this Happy Holidays right down below. You're going to be needing the punch with the stamp set that coordinates as a bundle. Great to get together and you save 15%. And then you're also going to need the scallop punch and the curvy corner trio punch. For stamp sets, we're going to be using three. We're going to be using the Versamark stamp set. We'll also be using the Whisper White and the Cherry Cobbler. Excuse me. For cardstock, you're going to need a sheet of smoky slate. You're going to want to cut this at 5.5 by 8.5 and score it at 4.25. Then you're going to need 4 sheets of Cherry Cobbler. One piece you're going to want to cut it 4 inches, 4 inches by 5.25 inches. Then you're going to want a sheet cut at 2.5 by 3 inches. Then you're going to want to have another piece cut at 2.5 by 5.25 inches and 2.5 by 8.5 inches. Then you'll need just a little sheet of scrap Cherry Cobbler to have on the side as well. Then you're going to need some glimmer paper. You're going to need a sheet of glimmer paper cut at 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 and some scrap pieces. Okay, so let's get started making this card. First, you're going to want to take the inside sheet or the top part of your card, the piece of Cherry Cobbler cut at 4 5/4 inches, and you're going to want to use your curvy corner trio punch and just punch out the corners. Next, you're going to want to take your glimmer paper and cut out this nice little more decorative corner. Okay, next we're going to want to stamp our images. We're going to want to take our Versamark ink and stamp some leaves. We're going to want to stamp out 2 of these, and then we're going to want to stamp out 12 of these. We're going to go ahead and stamp it with Versamark ink, and then we're going to use our iridescent ice embossing powder and sprinkle it on, and then we're going to heat emboss it. So let me get started. Okay, now that I have all my pieces heat embossed ready to go, I'm going to use my Festive flower punch, and I'm going to cut out my 2 smaller ones with this middle piece. Then I'm going to cut out 4 of these medium-sized pieces, and then I'm going to cut out 8 of these large pieces. I gotta be careful which side I'm cutting from so I don't cut off this other one. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my scissors and cut that. Okay, so I cut those 2 pieces out. Now I'm going to cut my 4 medium pieces, and then I'll cut the larger ones. Okay, now that I have all my pieces set, I'm going to go ahead and make a base for my flower. And then what I'm going to do with my base is take a little mono-tumble glue. I need 3 of these scallop circles that I'm using. You could use a circle and 1-inch circle punch, whatever you prefer. And I need 3 bases. I'm going to use some mono-tumble glue as my base, and then I'm going to adhere my petals. I'm going to start with my largest petals first. Then I'm going to adhere this last one with some glue dots to add a little more dimension. Excuse me. And then I also wanted to mention that if you noticed in the video, I folded some of my petals and it gives it a little more shape, a little more dimension. Next, you want to take your scrap piece of glimmer paper and cut out 2 of the top of the petals. And adhere them on with some glue dots. Next, I'm going to put together my card base. However, first I'm going to stamp my Merry Christmas to You and Yours at the bottom using some Whisper White craft ink. And then I'm going to heat emboss it with some clear embossing powder. Okay, now let's watch this all go together in a snap as I adhere this all to my card base. Oops, my little flower fell off. Let me get them down there. I'll probably add just a little bit of glue. last, I'm going to just add some basic rhinestone jewels and add just a little more bling. And if you notice I put on the Monotumbo glue, you need to give it a little time to dry, but I'm going ahead and doing a video, so I didn't have as much time. And then I'm going to just take my cherry cobbler and I'm going to stamp the inside sentiment, Happy Holidays, from my 6 sayings. And I'm going to add a poinsettia. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Be sure to stop by my blog and see more great ideas. Thanks for stopping by.